our town, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, USA. Yes, this is our town, much the same and as rich in nature's gifts as it was 100 years ago. Add to this a wealth of material accomplishments through those years, and you have Eau Claire today. We're very proud of our town's progress on the home front the past few years. In 1952, a policy was adopted by the City Council to eliminate the Eau Claire housing area over a period of the next few years. The purpose of the housing area was to provide much-needed living space for veterans of World War II. In 1946, when the project was opened, housing was critical, but in later years, the situation had gradually improved to such an extent that the city can afford to gradually eliminate it. Today, Eau Claire boasts of some of the most attractive home units in America. It is in our city hall that the complex business of running this community of over 40,000 is conducted. Under the council-manager form of government, Eau Claire is efficiently managed. 280 people take care of the day-to-day functions. The people elect the members of the city council, who in turn appoint the city manager. The manager, serving at the pleasure of the council members, must see to it that every aspect of civic life is dealt with for the benefit of the whole community. By the turn of the century, the first great industrial effort of this area had practically died out. The last lumber company to start operating in Eau Claire was built in 1905 and was unable to stay in business for any length of time. By then, the forests had been so ravished that the basic material of the city's first industry was scarce indeed. Men discovered that the store of trees was not inexhaustible. They were forced to turn their creative business and industrial thinking to other channels. These buildings are the result of the city's continued growth, a tribute to the stamina and genius of its leaders. The city is not now built on a single industry. Instead, Eau Claire is home for many and varied industries. There is the Gillette tire plant of the United States Rubber Company. With 4,500 employees, it's the largest single employer in the city, but by no means the only factor in Eau Claire's industrial picture. Today, there are more than 8 manufacturers in our town, producing everything from rubber tires to pressure cookers to baked goods to tinker toys. These are the office workers at National Presto Industries, leaving the clerical section of this extensive installation. National Presto Cooker site is a war baby. The Eau Claire Plant Ordnance Area number 2 was recently purchased by the company to make possible their expansion program. Peter's Meat Products plant is one of 3 such plants in Wisconsin. Employing over 300 people, Peter's processes 43 different meat products: bologna, wieners, summer sausages, porkettes, hams, bacon, and so forth. Recommended by over 6,000 dealers within a 150-mile radius of Eau Claire, Peter's products are well known. A special Peter's meat formula is ladled into a giant air stuffer to begin the rapid but carefully supervised process of turning out Peter's skinless wieners. First, air pressure forces the meat into a cellulose casing in 40-foot sections. These lengthy sections pass through a thorough washing procedure, which not only removes any excess meat from the casing, but makes the movement of the lengthy tubular sections through the tie linker much easier. It is here that the wieners are tied and linked into the familiar 5-inch you get in the store. They are then lifted onto a cage rack and sent to the smokehouse. There, the input and output of fresh air, smoke, humidity, and heat is carefully controlled. Once out of the smokehouse, the cellulose casing is removed and they are sent to the packaging department. Here we can watch the final processing of what is very likely the best known of Peter's products, the famous porkettes. First, the porkettes are skinned. This is done at the rate of 85 pounds an hour. The 12-ounce packages with 13 to 14 links to a package are put together in this final processing room, where the temperature is kept at a constant 40 degrees. Because of this, the more than 40 people who work here have to come properly dressed for their jobs. With a large sales volume of forkettes, Plant Superintendent Lynn Sanderson sees to it that a production rate of 400 pounds an hour is maintained. With a fleet of more than 50 refrigerated trucks, each of which carries 6,000 pounds, Peter's many popular varieties of meat are sped out of Eau Claire on a delivery schedule that ensures fresh, tasty meat for the housewife. City Manager David Rowlands and Director of Public Works and Utilities F.D. Kukuk, with their aides, look over work that's nearing completion on our new city parking garage. Started last fall, it stands where the old Galloway Hotel stood across from the City Hall. Eau Claire is faced with the same sort of municipal problem, traffic-wise, common in every community. But our town has done something about that problem. Here, across from City Hall, the city has spent $150,000 through construction contractors and not long ago awarded a contract for the Graham Avenue lot for 325 cars. With United States Rubber, the city is building another lot to accommodate an additional 350 cars. With this project, Eau Claire has 1,200 metered areas for the city's motorists. Particularly with the downtown facilities in the process of construction, property values are enormously enhanced. The city's management has wisely taken steps of this sort to ensure the continued worth of the downtown area, both to our town's merchants and its residents. During 1950, Eau Claire led the Wisconsin 9th Federal Reserve District cities with the value of new construction exceeding $8 million. 343 new residences were constructed, and the United States Rubber Company built a warehouse large enough to provide 7 feet of space for everyone in town. Already, a city of 13 bridges, another is being added as part of the Highway 172 relocation project. Modern police and fire departments are maintained, and a new fire station has been built to more adequately protect the many new homes built on the outskirts of the city, which covers 17 square miles. Educational facilities of the Eau Claire State Teachers College are being greatly improved with a $1,300,000 addition. 9 public schools and 3 parochial grade schools include 2 that were built in 1950. There is a junior high, public high, and parochial high school, as well as a vocational school. One of the many businesses which have added to our building program is Burry's Sunlit Bakery. It was organized in 1926, and the present building was erected in 1930. A large addition was made in 1946 to take care of the expanding business. Inside the plant, in the baking operation, the dough is divided into loaves after the fermentation process. By a quick whirling process, the pores are closed to retain the necessary gases for proper cell development. Dough then goes to the proofer for 12 minutes, into the molder and into the waiting pans. After an hour's storage, the loaves go into the ovens. More loaves are always ready to go into the ovens as the baked bread comes out. The giant ovens at the Burry Bakery are set in operation at 9 or 10 in the morning and continue baking delicious, wholesome bread and Burry's rolls until 6 or 7 at night. This oven holds 700 loaves. Putting in the raw dough and taking out the freshly baked loaves is a continuous operation for 2 men. Traveling slowly on a circular conveyor belt, it takes 26 minutes between entrance to and exit from the ovens for the bread to finish baking. Long gone are the days when you had to put your bread on the table and saw away at it with a bread knife. Maybe Aunt Martha would get a wafer-thin slice, or Dad would come up with a good thick piece. Nowadays, this is all done by machine. Burry's 7 varieties of bread are sliced and wrapped at the rate of 60 loaves to the minute. Once the slicing and wrapping is out of the way, the packaged product is carried along on a unique conveyor system to the trucks. This way, the bread gets out to the grocers in double quick time. This conveyor system was perfected by Production Superintendent Wally Moore and Maintenance Foreman Norman Arneson. The process is not interrupted as the machine moves from a full truck along to a waiting empty one. The Burry people are mighty proud of this invention. Eau Claire is a great sports town. Fishing, hunting, tennis, swimming, horseback riding, baseball. These are activities that our folks take seriously. Golf is a favorite also. We are now at the Eau Claire Country Club. This course is one of 3 in the city. 2 of them are private clubs, and the third operates on monies collected through regulation green fees. Near the Eau Claire River on South Hastings Way, this warm-up spot for future Ben Hogans or Lloyd Mangrams is an 18-hole course. This is the largest of the 2 private clubs, with 350 members. Next is the Hillcrest Country Club and the Lake Hallie 9-hole course. Typical of the pleasant, popular meeting places downtown is the Hunt Room of the Hotel Eau Claire. It was remodeled and redecorated 5 years ago. Back in the days of the Depression, Ellis Hunsinger managed to buy 300 acres of land and start in the business of raising horseradish. Today, Ellis' 300 acres have been expanded into 1,500. He's now the world's horseradish king. Water puts the zing in horseradish, so Silver Springs maintains 4 miles of pipe fed by 4 pumping units, which can pour 1,000 gallons a minute to irrigate 100 acres a day. It's Emil Engen's job to ride up one row and down the other so that the soil is always properly conditioned for the growth of the farm's #1 product, horseradish. During July and August, this work goes on every single day. Bill Walker is plowing a field of growing things that the Silver Springs farm can't possibly sell. He's plowing green fertilizer, a mixture of soybeans and Sudan grass, which is grown only to supply the soil with fertility and humus content. Once the beans and the grass have reached a certain point, they're simply plowed under. Silver Springs is run in such a way that 1/2 of all acreage is used for the growing of horseradish, and the other half is prepared for the next year's crop. Even with this precautionary step, the management has to buy over 300 tons of commercial fertilizer a year. At $50 an acre, this is a good investment in terms of the product. This machine fills 120 bottles every minute. Through research work of the University of Wisconsin's College of Agriculture, Silver Springs is able to turn out a superior product via painstaking scientific checking. Through a test plot where 90 different varieties of horseradish are grown, the company is ever alert to finer mutations which may be developed. Adventuresome spirit, hard work, a generous assist from scientific farming procedures, and a good product have brought Ellis Hunsinger a long way from the uncertain days of the 30s. This is Eau Claire Central Fire Station, one of 3 others in the city. Chief Ernest Moss came up through the ranks, joining the department in 1937. He became top man in January of last year. The doors swing open, and out comes the fire department's 1,250-gallon pumper, which answers all general alarm fires. The normal complement of driver, officer, and 3 firemen is aboard. With its modern equipment, the Eau Claire Fire Department serves a 20-square-mile area, unusual for a city of this size. The department offers rural protection as well as city protection. The men of the department are on duty for 24 hours and off for 24. Thus, there is a full number ready at all times to take care of any emergency which might arise. The 85-foot hydraulically operated aerial truck is one of the department's newest additions. The ascending ladder extends 85 feet from the ground and can be turned 365 degrees. The truck is leveled with front and side jacks before the ladder ascends. The normal complement of ground and roof ladders, plus the necessary equipment, is also a part of this aerial truck. It's equipped with power generators for floodlights in case of night fires. Two-way radios are installed in each truck so that quick communication may be maintained at all times. Assistant Chief of our fire department, James Barney, helps to see that highest efficiency is the order of every day. Bartosh Cleaners is a familiar name in our town. This establishment has been part of Eau Claire since 1928. The fine cleaning and exacting care always given by the firm has warranted the building of this extensive plant. Every modern cleaning method and a huge fur storage vault keeps things humming here. Foreman Frank Spanell puts the garments into the washer, where for 30 minutes they are immersed in a detergent and petroleum-based solvent solution. Then the garments are transferred to the extractor. In this machine, they are spun around for a short period at 1,700 revolutions per minute. Next comes the tumbler. The clothes are gently tumbled for about 30 minutes of slow drying. Once this procedure is completed, the garments are taken out, hung on transfer racks, and sent along to another department, where they are sorted for further handling. The adjuster-form, despite its long name, is a fairly simple machine. When a garment is fitted to it, the adjuster-form will steam out any stubborn spots and smooth out all the wrinkles. Completing approximately 2 garments a minute, this machine at Bartosh is another of the many up-to-date devices which help the company deliver #1 work to the folks of Eau Claire. If it weren't for the utility press machine and the puff irons, it would be a difficult matter to get at sleeves, shoulders, and other tricky places in the garment. After the puff irons have done their work, the garment gets final attention at the steam ironing board, especially the silks. It is at this steam ironing board that those delicate touches are added to the finishing process. The Bartosh employees handle 800 to 1,000 garments in one day. In this same building, a temperature-controlled vault houses precious furs and fine garments, safe from moths and dust. Managed by Carl Bartosh, his cleaning plant is a real tribute to his father, who planted its seeds. These youngsters are going to make their folks proud, too. Right now, however, they're absorbed in watching a street construction project. During the school term, 11 public schools, 5 parochial schools, and 1 vocational school keeps them occupied in a different manner. Named for a former high school principal of Eau Claire and one of the foremost educators of this region, this is the Sam G. Davy Elementary School. It's a fine example of the best in modern school architecture. The junior high school at 4th and West Grand helps the town's young people bridge the difficulties of the transition period between grade school and high school. This sign proclaims one of the accomplishments of which the Eau Claire parochial school system is justly proud. It is on Highway 53 and is the new Regis High School. Scheduled for occupancy in the fall of this year, the new high school frees the old Regis building for use as a parochial grade school. To the side of this handsome new building is the athletic area of the Regis High School. Coach Howard Kolstad, under the direction of Athletic Director Father Becker, will direct the activities of the students on 2 regulation football fields, a baseball diamond, a softball diamond, 3 tennis courts, and an outdoor handball court. The new school will serve 500 students from the parishes of St. Patrick, the Sacred Heart, the Immaculate Conception, St. James the Greater, St. Olaf, St. Mary's of Altoona, and Guardian Angel of Brackett. Only a few blocks from downtown Eau Claire is the Eau Claire High School. The city's public schools, elementary and junior high, contribute their students to this final step in the program of publicly supported education within the city. This handsome plant with the neat surrounding park is one of Eau Claire's growing industrial establishments, the Hutchins Industries, on the northeast side of town. The president of the company is Mrs. Harriet Hutchins, widow of the founder, Ralph W. Hutchins. Organized by Mr. Hutchins in 1940, this concern employs 35 people to manufacture oil filters and oil filter cartridges. The Hutchins Industries specialize in labels which distributors all over the United States market under their own brand names. First in the manufacturing process of spun-type filters is attaching a base plate. Next, the sock material is applied to the center tube. Heavy bale wire and a bale twister are used to secure it. The sock material is a special knit webbing made for the Hutchins Industries to specifications. Once the sock has been fitted and is firmly in position, the core of the filter is applied to the lathe spindle. Once on the lathe spindle, an air-controlled cylinder is moved into position and the spindle turns. Next, the rope-type waste is fed through the slot to a predetermined density. The worker then inserts a filter paper, reverses the pressure cylinder, and pulls the sock material over the original sock cylinder. The cartridge is then removed by air pressure. The drawstring is tightened and cut, and the cartridge is fit tested in the filter bowl. From the original step of spot welding to the final fit testing of the cartridge and the filter bowl, these spun-type filters move from worker to worker, from machine to machine, at the rate of 500 every day. In the manufacture of paper-type oil filter cartridges, the coil steel is cut to width, run through the giant perforator, and automatically cut to the required length. These lengths are fed through the shaper and side seamed. Then the bottom cap is applied, a special filler material is inserted, and the top cap is secured. Lift ring and seal off, if needed, are applied. Finally, the identification mark is imprinted on the top cap, and the completed cartridge is packaged with all necessary gaskets. Here at Hutchins Industries, 15,000 paper filters are processed per day. On the enjoy seeing in person. To better acquaint you, a most welcome invitation is extended to you to join us again next week for more about Eau Claire, Wisconsin, USA. This is our town.
This is our town, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, USA. Yes, this is our town as it is today, a busy industrial and commercial city, which developed from the lusty lumber town it was 100 years ago. Since the 1840s, our town has grown to a city of 40,000 friendly people. Eau Claire's transportation system covers every phase of man's ability to move himself from one spot to the next, from ox to horse to mule to streetcar and bus. The Eau Claire Street Railway Company was organized in 1879. That year marked the opening of the first 4-mile route of streetcars in our town. That original street railway system of cars and horses has, of course, changed considerably. Horses gave way to the sturdy mule. In 1887, the system was electrified and became one of the pioneer electric street railways in the United States. In 1898, the Chippewa Valley Electric Railway was organized for interurban service to Chippewa Falls. In 1914, saw the Wisconsin and Minnesota Light and Power Company buy the controlling interest in the city transportation setup and build a line to nearby Altoona. Buses were first tried in 1931. In April of 1932, they had proved so successful that the company inaugurated an all-bus service, and the streetcar went the way of the horse and the mule-drawn car. The present operators bought the franchise to the Eau Claire Transportation Company in January of 1939. Mr. Ray M. Fay, an aggressive civic leader, is vice president and general manager. He also operates bus lines in Winona and Hibbing, Minnesota. Open on June 1st, 1952, our town's new bus depot is the executive center and mechanical nerve center of the city's transportation system. 11 mechanics check and recheck every machine before it is sent into service. The work is done by 8 clerical employees under the direction of Ray Fay and his son, Fred. The revolving doors escort the Hotel Eau Claire's innumerable guests and friends into the lobby. This time we have a young honeymoon couple from the Twin Cities. And because they're honeymooning, the regal red carpet is rolled out for them. Figuratively, of course, by manager Larry Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds has been with the Eau Claire since 1928. He has a staff of 130 and supervises the hotel to the end that every guest feels a bit special. A corsage for the bride, compliments of Hotel Eau Claire. Desk manager Stump has assured the couple that anything they may desire will be as close as the phone in their room. The honeymooners enjoy the music of the tiny trio in the colonial room of the hotel. Music from the trio and the finest of food and beverage on tap for our friends. Everything is set for the kind of evening that folks from all over come into Eau Claire to enjoy. The colonial room does a considerable business serving friends who come from the Twin Cities for weekend relaxation. Our couple has chosen the specialties of the colonial room, lobster and prime ribs of beef. The chef is very proud of his work, and justly so. He's doing a wonderful job upholding the colonial's reputation for the best. The Hotel Eau Claire Coffee Shop and Colonial Grill have the stamp of approval from Duncan Hines. People know that wherever they see that sign, they're assured of something special. And something special is the usual thing here every day. At the noon hour, it's a perfect spot for a restful and tasty luncheon. And at night, it's a high point for the townsfolk and visitors. Having a good time is big business here in Eau Claire. This is the gateway to the Indian Head country. Tourists heading for the wonderful surrounding resorts are a familiar sight, and they soon learn about Carson Beach out on Half Moon Lake. It's only about 3 or 4 minutes from the center of town. There are always 2 lifeguards on duty during the season here and out at Lake Altoona. On hot afternoons, this is a favorite place for the youngsters. The city has taken all necessary precautions to see to it that this is a safe place for the small fry and their parents. 58,000 people enjoyed Lake Altoona and Half Moon Lake last year. The Wisconsin State Board of Health sprayed Half Moon Lake with copper sulfate to combat the growth of algae. For youngsters and oldsters, it's a fine place to be when the weather is favorable. This sign signifies the home of the Eau Claire Bears, a farm team of the famous Milwaukee Braves. Whenever the team is on the road, park workmen are out on the playing field with lime, hose, wheelbarrow, trowel, and mower to keep the area in top shape for the Bears' return to the homestand games in the Northern League at Carson Park. Back in the 1850s and 1860s, Eau Claire was one of the leading logging centers. Now, that's not the case now, of course, but timber has played a great part in the establishment of our town. In Carson Park, we have a number of buildings grouped together known as the Paul Bunyan Camp. These buildings contain exhibits of the kind of equipment used by Eau Claire's first citizens, the logging people who gave us our civic start. Consumers Cooperative Association is synonymous with business expansion. From a small beginning, the enterprise now does over $1,295,000 in business each year. Located on Highway 53, it serves 3,450 member owners and patrons. On the building's east side, there is ample parking space. The association's unique retail shopping center is controlled and owned by the people who use it. Roy Gilbertson, the co-op's appliance department manager, shows some of the television sets on the display floor. With Motorola and Stuart Warner sets available at the co-op, business has kept the steady upward swing of the television business itself. 18 years ago, when the co-op was first started, this department wasn't even dreamed of. But the store policy of keeping up to date with customer needs has made this possible. The cashier's office and the co-op credit union office is combined. The credit union serves through deposits and loans and has loaned over $750,000. Not so new as the television department of the store is this meat department. It does such a volume of business that by now it is the dominating meat department in the supermarket field in Eau Claire. As all the departments of the co-op, this one is an expression of ordinary folk working cooperatively to build for themselves and their families. Customers always in the checkout lanes keep Jim Porter and Matey Bellows busy. Manager Ray Tyson started with the co-op in 1938 when there were only 4 employees. The Consumers Cooperative Association of Eau Claire today has 15 different departments with an annual payroll of $135,000. As Eau Claire has adapted itself to changing times, so has cooperative management, knowing that a growing friendly store has much to contribute to a growing friendly town. The modern stone building of the First Congregational Church is the site of the leading church of its kind in this part of the state. This is the third edifice which the parish has constructed since it was organized in 1856. This St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Church was dedicated in December of 1882. The first building constructed was a Catholic mission in 1850. This Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Church is considered to be one of the most beautiful buildings in the Northwest. The first Lutheran church was organized as the First Norwegian Evangelical Lutheran Church in 1864. Opposite Randolph Park is the First Baptist Church. The original building for the Baptist parishioner in Eau Claire was built in 1863, the present building in 1912. Eau Claire is the sea city of the Episcopal Diocese of Eau Claire, with a bishop and cathedral located here. First recorded services were held in the old Eau Claire House in 1858. This building was built in 1916. 36 Greyhound buses enter and leave our town's bus depot every day. Our people have handy access to every point in the United States. The affairs of the county are managed here at the Eau Claire County Courthouse. 3 cities, 2 villages, and 13 towns are supervised from this building, constructed in 1878. Eau Claire's post office helps keeps our town closely tied with other cities of the country and of the world. There are 2 fine hospitals in town. This one, the Luther Hospital, and the Sacred Heart Hospital. Thus, those who may be in need of hospital care have the assurance of some of the best and most efficient care. This sign announces one of the unique business projects of our town. Not because it's outside a motel, but because it's outside a special motel. And why is the Motel Eau Claire so special? Because of its appearance or the management's fine service? Not completely, though certainly partly for these reasons. The motel is special because of its relationship to the city's biggest hotel, the Eau Claire. Let's see why the motel's tie-in with the hotel is newsworthy, especially to the hotel men of the country. Top management in that business has come to Eau Claire from many states to see how the 2 institutions work hand in hand, particularly how the one complements the other in terms of supplies and service, and how an experienced Eau Claire hotel man has given travelers to the city and out-of-town business district shopping place, offering the same fine services of the first-class hotel. Eau Claire Motel has been recommended by Duncan Hines. At the junctions of Highway 1253 and State Highway 93, it is well known to travelers. One of the 8 Badger State institutions of higher learning is the Wisconsin State College at Eau Claire. Here's Old Main, from the oldest to the newest buildings on this pleasant tree-shaded campus. First, the new field house, where the athletic activities of the institution are centered. Then the educational building. It is in the Ed building that you find the school's beautiful theater. The college president is William Davies. The YMCA offers relaxation to many college students. It has 50 residential accommodations and 1,400 members. Under the management of General Secretary C.E. Guthrie, the Y has complete pool facilities and handball courts. A new Y building is still in the talk stage. Last December, the Wisconsin General Airlines expanded its area of operation to include Minnesota and the Dakotas, and so expanded its name as well. We see the takeoff of one of the fleet of planes of recently christened North Central Airlines. Getting pleasure-bound vacationers and business people into and out of our town is an easy and simple matter these days. The regularly scheduled flights of this dependable air service provide every modern convenience. The Eau Claire Municipal Airport is the rendezvous point for big commercial liners. The airport is also home port for the small private planes of the region. Here, the local private pilots add to their air hours and enjoy themselves with the most recent of sports, flying. Some of the planes are midget, but they give their owners a lot of fun. The land was bought by the city in 1945, and the runways and hangars dedicated in 1946. A total of over 1,500 commercial flights used the airport last year. It contains 450 acres, 2 paved concrete runways, of 4,100 and 4,300 feet in length, each 100 feet wide. It is home base for the Arrowhead Flying Club. A dozen citizens own planes based here. The fashion store is Northwest Wisconsin's largest outfitters for infants, children, and women. A handsome specialty shop, it is a well-known store for many miles around. Buying face powder has become a thriving business these days. At the fashion store, for example, we can see how far it has come along. These are the basic ingredients of the personally blended powders in the Charles of the Ritz line, exclusive at the fashion store. There are over 300 formulas on file at the store, and Mrs. Lillian Donaldson knows how to fill the orders expertly. The cosmetics department also carries Elizabeth Arden and Helena Rubenstein Cosmetics. Sales lady Mrs. Eva Johnson is questioned about some of the costume jewelry on display. All of the newest items for Milady's enchantment are here. They are intriguing little items which sometimes go for $1 and up to $25. Miss Peg Grady buys for this department. She knows fashion and taste well enough to keep the counters filled with the latest and the best in costume jewelry. Over now to the fashion store ready-to-wear department for better suits and coats, where two ladies of Eau Claire are shopping. The sales lady shows a fall number, which one of the ladies examines. The selection pleases the customer. With assist from the sales lady, she slips into the coat and shows it off to her friend and to herself in the nearby mirror. The department carries brand names, Lily Ann, Handmacher, Moordale, from which the customers may choose. The infants and children's department is on the second floor of the fashion store. Mrs. Fred Zank of Eau Claire is there with her daughter Rebecca. Rebecca seems happy with her special part of the store. Since 1920, Eau Claire's fashion store has been ready to serve ladies from 1 month old on up through the years. These youngsters' efforts at rolling a log into Half Moon Lake are geared to a special purpose. They are doing it to set things up so that they can watch a champion log burler in action. Here's Jimmy running. Between 1942 and this year, Jimmy has been national log rolling champion 6 times. You will see his 2 boys in action also. They are Jimmy Jr., who is 12, and John, who is 10. First of all, John works with his father. Then we'll see Johnny and Jimmy working together. And back to Dad again. Competitive burling started in 1898. We see Jimmy doing fancy work with a chair, standing on it, over the back, and then reversing the process. He has a dog working with him once in a while also. Burlers work aquacades, fairs, and sport shows. Jimmy says he's getting too old and is going to retire as national champion this year. Our town gets its water from wells. This is the North Pumping Station, built in July of 1946. This station pumps 22 million gallons of water every day. It's maintained by the chief operator, 4 assistants, and a maintenance man. Water is sent from this station and also from the other station, the Dells, to the city reservoir on Birch Street. The original installation on this site was made in 1934. The supervisor of our city water is Mr. Ed Brown. Part of the in-service training for the 50 uniformed policemen of our town is this activity. Under the direction of our chief of police, the men are required to shoot the Camp Perry course and the practical pistol course once every month. First, we'll watch the men line up for part of the Camp Perry course. From a distance of 25 yards, they are required to rapid fire shoot 5 shots in 10 seconds time. After this comes the first step in the practical pistol course. At a distance of 7 yards, a man is required to shoot from the hip 10 shots in 25 seconds. Well, the officer in this operation is his coach, whose job it is to help with the rapid reloading for the next shot. From the distance of 60 yards come 5 shots from the prone position, then 5 shots from the sitting position, and prone again from the same distance. From behind the barricade at the 50-yard line, the man is asked to shoot 5 shots left-handed and then right-handed. At the end of these exercises, the coach is able to score every man simply by checking the targets, which are brought for his inspection. The safety program is conducted and carried out by our efficient police force. The men study 1 hour a week. We all look to our officers of the law for general all-around protection. The police of Eau Claire are charged not only with the maintenance of law and order, theirs also is the responsibility of the prevention and investigation of traffic accidents, which are our prime killers. We are proud of the excellent safety program conducted by our police in Eau Claire. 270 boys and girls have guarded our school crossings without an accident. 540 safety lectures have been given by members of the police force. 400 people have taken a driver's training course. Traffic safety is a vitally important part of our police work in our town. Keeping our youngsters occupied in constructive and useful activities is a welcome and full-time job for everyone in Eau Claire. We all feel the responsibility, for we all know that our town's future is in the hands of the generation now growing up. In order for them to do their job well, they must be well-adjusted, happy individuals. One of the activities in which many of our people participate, namely the business people and the policemen, is Little League Baseball. We see Andy Green of the police force and the police team warming up for the evening's game. The league is organized for boys 12 years old and under. The Little League has 6 teams, 15 boys on each team. Sponsors buy all the uniforms and equipment. The playing field is on Highway 53, where there are spectator stands to accommodate 300 people. The game is played according to regular rules. This has proved to be a wonderful means of keeping our youngsters off the streets and yet busy. There is intense partisanship for teams and very close cooperation with the adult leaders. Inside the American Legion Hall is the city's largest auditorium and the office of the Eau Claire Chamber of Commerce. This is home for 1,400 members of the Johnson Nichols Post Number 53 under Commander L.J. Ecke. Also on Highway 53, 2 blocks from Highway 12, is Austin's White House Inn, one of the really fine dining places in north-central Wisconsin. The Austin of the name is Mr. Austin Johnson, who is kept very busy each day. The Grey Room at Austin's is the newest part of the establishment and is particularly popular with family groups. Groups of women shoppers or club women of Eau Claire also enjoy the relaxing atmosphere. The Grey Room is a favorite place for luncheon as well as for dinner. The board of directors of the Eau Claire Baseball Club are having a luncheon conference at Austin's White House Inn. They are gathered in the green room, one of the two private dining rooms. The room is built in such a way so as to be able to accommodate 20 people for a private function, simply by sliding back a folding partition. This partition is in use today, so that the baseball meeting can be separated from another business group in the green room. Groups of this sort are at the inn every day. Chef Mike Patrick works on a choice cut of beef. Under Mr. Johnson's supervision, 4 chefs work to season the steaks and chops as the guests may request, and to broil them as ordered. Serving 500 to 600 a day, the inn's 30 employees are constantly busy serving the finest steaks and seafoods Mr. Johnson's 25 years in the restaurant business can assure. The Morning Leader and the Evening Telegram are the newspapers of Eau Claire. They are published in this building with the wire services of the Associated Press and the United Press. Their combined circulation is 24,000. The Leader is the only morning newspaper in northwest Wisconsin. Along with our 2 newspapers, we have 3 radio stations, WEAU, WBIZ, and WRFW. And so we have endeavored to show you our town. Each day brings a change, sometimes minor, sometimes major. But each change, large or small, plays an integral part in the molding of Eau Claire for tomorrow's citizens. And it's those citizens with whom we are mainly concerned. For all our efforts today will have been without purpose or cause if they should fail. However, we have every confidence that our town will continue to grow and prosper in the future as it has in the past. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, USA. This is our town.